I wish I could help you. Technology is not my thing.
Are you guys ready?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our November 5th, 2025 City Council meeting. At this time, we open the floor for public comments. As a reminder, public comments are limited to 5 minutes, and they're on non-agenda items only. So if anyone does have any non-agenda item public comments, the floor is yours. Okay, well, moving along. It is 6:01 p.m. and we will call our legislative meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Bub.
Here.
John Askew.
Here.
Dennis.
Here.
Buckingham.
Here.
Washington.
Here. And at this time, all who can stand, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I see if the flag got moved.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we will take action on previous meeting minutes. I make a motion to approve our October 21st, 2025 legislative meeting minutes as well as our October 29th, 2025 committee meeting minutes.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves forward. At this time, for presentations, awards, and announcement, I do have a brief announcement this evening. As City Council President, I want to share that I recently spoken with Mayor-elect Sandy Walker, who informed me that she has formed a Mayor-elect transition and accountability team as part of her transition efforts. I want to say congratulations to her and thank Mayor-elect Walker for taking the time to reach out to me personally. That gesture speaks volumes about her commitment to collaboration and transparency, and I'm very grateful she thought enough to include council in this important moment. Mayor-elect Walker explained to me that her team will be reaching out to the individual members of City Council over the next few weeks to listen to our concerns, understand our legislative priorities, and gather recommendations that reflect the needs of our community. This is a welcome and constructive step, and I encourage my fellow council members to be open, to be candid, and cooperative in these conversations. While council does not play a formal role in the administrative transition, we do have a responsibility to represent the voices of our constituents and to help shape the policy landscape that the next administration will inherit. Although the transition process is ultimately led by the executive branch, I want to encourage our current leadership to work in good faith with Mayor-elect Walker and her team to ensure a smooth, transparent, and well-informed handoff. This is not about politics. It's about continuity, transparency, professionalism, and public service. I also want to take a moment to welcome our newly elected council member, Ryan Supler. I look forward to the energy and perspective he will bring to City Council. I also want to extend a heartfelt congratulations to Council Vice President Betsy Buckingham on her successful re-election bid. Your continued service is deeply valued to all of us.
Thank you.
In closing, as we turn the page to a new chapter, I look forward to working together with Mayor-elect Walker's team and all members of council in conjunction with the administration to move the city of York forward. Let us begin this new chapter with a spirit of unity, shared purpose, and meaningful collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, our next meeting scheduled, our next legislative meeting of council will be held on Tuesday, November the 18th at 6:00 p.m. here in council chambers. As a reminder, all agenda items are due by 12 noon on November the 12th. Our next council committee meeting
Will be January.
will be in January 2026, everyone. We will not have any committee meetings held during the months of November and December as usual. Okay, Moving along, we do not have any status of prior committee referrals. We'll move along to our legislative agenda. Up first, we have subdivision and land development in Harb.
So introduced.
As resolution number 77, introduced by Teresa Janescu. Be it resolved that council hereby accepts the recommendations of HARB in approving a certificate of appropriateness for work to be done in the applications for 103 North Newberry Street, 20 North Penn Street, and 462 through 464 West Market Street.
Move for a vote.
Second. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any council comment regarding this matter?
None.
Is there any public comment regarding this matter? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bub,
Yes?
Jonescu,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have final passage of bills and resolutions. We have final passage of bill number 26. Move to approve.
Second.
And, I'm sorry, that was, bill number 26 was introduced by Queen of Washington at the October 7th meeting. It is an ordinance vacating the 12 feet by 26 feet terminus of North Court Avenue at the incursion into 15 East Philadelphia Street.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there council comment regarding this matter?
No.
Any public comment? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bub,
Yes?
Jonescu.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Buckingham.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have resolution number 78. So introduced.
Is there a motion to read by short title?
I make a motion to read by short title.
Second.
All in favor, yes?
Yes.
Opposed, no. Resolution number 78, introduced by a Queen of Washington, a resolution approving the 2026 annual action plan.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there council comment regarding this matter?
No.
None.
I would just shout out to Acting Director Tammy Bethia, Harvey Bethia, for her very good answers in our committee meeting when we discussed this. She was right on point, able to answer all the questions we had about this budget, and I just appreciate that. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further council comment? Any public comment regarding this matter? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bub,
Yes.
Jonescu.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Buckingham.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have resolution number 79. So introduced.
Did you want, you didn't want to go, did you want to skip over the SafeNet one? Wasn't that,
Number 68.
yeah, number 68, that would, I'm sorry, I didn't name number 68, it should be 68.
Oh,
And then
okay.
that should be 79.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to put the number there.
I apologize, everyone. So resolution number 68, so introduced.
Is there a motion to read by short title?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It
All
ha-
in- I'm sorry,
No, you go ahead.
all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. And that is resolution number 68, which was introduced by a Queen of Washington at the October 7th meeting of council. A resolution supporting the advancement of the York SafeNet public security camera system and authorizing access to city infrastructure.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Do we have council comment regarding this matter?
No.
Councilwoman Buck?
Yes. Madam President, I move to amend Resolution 68 to add language to the now therefore be it resolved clause to integrate operational and civil liberty safeguards. Before I provide specific proposed language, allow me to explain that the proposed amendments, including recommendations made by the York NAACP, primarily focuses on three critical areas: scope limitation and infrastructure ownership, data rights and accountability, governance and public oversight. For scope limitation and infrastructure oversight, The amendment I will propose addresses the physical extent of the system and the legal relationship between the city and York SafeNet regarding municipal assets. This includes limiting the number of city-owned poles available for installation of the camera system to 55. This number aligns with the initial draft map proposed in the York SafeNet feasibility study in 2019. Also affirming that the city reserves ownership of all municipal infrastructure that may be used by the camera system, including city-owned poles and rights-of-way. Access would be granted through a formal agreement for an initial term up to 5 years. Additional poles can be requested during the initial term with the intent that it is based on proof of achievement of goals. For data rights, safeguards, and accountability, the amendment I will propose incorporates York SafeNet's proposed operating policies, guaranteeing constitutional safeguards and addressing community concerns as a formal contingency built into the resolution. This is prohibiting facial recognition functionality and the intentional non-collection of unique biometric data. Footage retention limited to no more than 30 days. Police are required to abide by network policies and demonstrate a legal rationale for each request for footage, and a publicly available log must be maintained detailing all footage requests, access times, and reasons. For governance and public oversight, my proposed amendment will strengthen the mechanism for public input and oversight of York SafeNet and ensure accountability. This includes the creation of a Citizens Advisory Board to provide ongoing public input and oversight, in line with York SafeNet's commitment to having a community advisory board, with the mayor recommending appointment and council approval. In essence, these proposed amendments transform the original resolution, which primarily expressed an intent to make city infrastructure available, into a document that specifically grants conditional approval tied directly to the feasibility study scope, municipal asset protection, and detailed civil liberties guaranteed and derived from York SafeNet's revised policies. With that said, I move to amend resolution number 68 as follows. Under the now therefore be it resolved section, under point 2, after the words York SafeNet feasibility study, add the following language. And under the following conditions, A, the number of poles shall be limited to 55, as proposed in the York SafeNet feasibility study draft map. B, the city of York shall maintain full ownership of all municipal infrastructure utilized by York SafeNet system, including city-owned poles and rights of way. C, access to and use of city infrastructure is granted via a formal agreement with an initial term of up to 5 years. Additional poles can be requested during that initial term with the intent that it is based on proof of achievement of goals. I would also amend point 3. This authorization is contingent upon continued collaboration and engagement with the City Council through quarterly and ad hoc updates, including the presentation and final approval of the proposed governance structure, operating plan, procedures, detailed map as identified by Logos Works partners as crucial for project advancement and as previously requested by City Council. Adding points 4 and 5 as follows. This authorization is specifically contingent upon the implementation and verifiable adherence to the network policies guaranteeing constitutional safeguards and best practices for data rights, including the specific prohibition of facial recognition functionality, the intentional non-collection of unique biometric data, the limitation of footage retention to no more than 30 days, the requirement for police and others to abide by network policies, show a legal rationale for each request for footage, and the maintenance of a publicly available periodic log of all police requests, access times, and reasons. Point 5, as part of the governance structure, which York SafeNet has indicated includes plans for a community advisory board, a citizens advisory board shall be formally established to provide ongoing public input and oversight, and the appointment of members to this board shall be recommended by the mayor with subsequent approval by city council. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Do I ask for a second at this point?
No, there's an amendment on the floor.
Okay.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
So it's been moved in second. So all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
Opposed. Anyone abstaining? That does not move forward.
Okay. Madam President, are there any sections in my proposed amendment that are acceptable to any of the other council members? Such as the quarterly and periodic reporting, or the Citizens Advisory Board, or, and if not, that's
Yeah,
just asking.
at this time, the motion was already placed and the vote was not in favor.
Thank you.
And so we will move forward with our regular vote. It was introduced. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Thank you. At this time, is there any other council comment regarding this matter?
I think what I, want to remind everybody, this is just the next step. That the conversations, concerns will continue to be heard, and I'm sure there will be further resolutions in front of council for SafeNet as the process moves. But at this point, all we're committing to is we're approving a willingness to use city infrastructure, and that allows for the fundraising to begin. This is not the end. The program is not complete. There is much more work to be done, both the SafeNet end of it and ours.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Janesco.
Yes, I do agree with what you just said, that it's just steps getting us there. But I also do agree with Councilwoman Elsbeth that the language must be there. The language must be there. And as I stated before, because if it's not there in the beginning, then we find ourselves trying to figure it out later. I believe that we're all for it. We just want to make sure that the language is tight and that we're not just, reaching out and just saying yes. But I think even when she stated about the about going back to the original number of the 55, if this is steps, yeah, let's take steps and let's see, the different achievements. There was just an achievement by a camera system, and I want to make acknowledgement to that today. And so thank you to the police commissioner and your team. And so I believe what we have here will keep us safe, but we want to make sure what we're about to put in place is going to be exactly what the community wants to see as a whole, and that council believes that should be. And I know I don't have much time, but while I'm still here, I believe that, that the language should be tight. It should be tight. That's
Thank
all.
you, Councilwoman Dennis. Any
Thank
further
you.
council comment? No. Any public comment at this time regarding this matter? Thank you. As a reminder, all public comment, 5 minutes.
May take 4. Good evening, Madam President, members of council, solicitor, and clerk. My name is Michael Walker, and I would like to speak tonight on behalf of the Mayor's-elect Transition and Accountability Team as co-chair, and not just as a Google attorney. Inside joke. I want to be clear from the start that Mayor-elect Sandy Walker is not in opposition to this resolution. She fully supports the goal of improving public safety through technology. Our purpose tonight is to simply seek clarification and ensure that the city and its partners move forward in full alignment with both state law and constitutional standards. Through you, Madam President, as the chair, I'd like to respectfully and formally ask whether the city solicitor has reviewed or issued a formal opinion on a key legal question. Whether this proposed camera system operated by a nonprofit organization, but using city-owned poles, city rights-of-way, and working directly with the York City Police Department constitutes as a state actor under constitutional law. The term state actor refers to a private or nonprofit entity that performs a governmental function or acts in close cooperation with government to carry it out. Under U.S. Supreme Court precedent West versus Atkins and Britwood Academy versus TSSAA, once that threshold is met, the entity's actions, and this specific case, the nonprofit York SafeNet, are legally attributable to the government itself or to the city itself. So in this case, York SafeNet's reliance on city infrastructure and its partnership with law enforcement in matters of public safety would qualify it as a state actor. That means the 4th and 14th Amendment constitutional rules that apply to the city also apply equally to York SafeNet. Just as a reminder, the 4th Amendment protects residents from unreasonable search and seizures. The 14th Amendment ensures due process and equal protection. In short, once the network operates on city property and assists in policing functions, its actions carry the same legal accountability as those of the city itself. So through you, Madam President, as the chair, we'd like to respectfully and formally ask whether the Pennsylvania Criminal History Record Information Act, or CRIA, Title 18, Section 9121, has been reviewed or incorporated into this framework. CRIA governs how any information that becomes part of a criminal investigation or prosecution must be collected, retained, and shared. Once footage from this system is accessed by law enforcement, it becomes criminal history record information, which carries specific state law obligations regarding access, retention, and dissemination. So clarifying whether York SafeNet functions as a state actor is essential to ensuring that those responsibilities are clearly defined and lawfully upheld. And also on behalf of the Mayor's-elect Transitions and Accountability Team, I respectfully note that after a thorough review of the official documents before City Council, including the York SafeNet feasibility study that was done in August 2021, York SafeNet proposal, September 2025, and Resolution 68, November 2025, we didn't really find any reference to CRIA compliance, no citation to Title 18 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, and no acknowledgement of the nonprofit's potential state actor status. This is not an assumption, it is just a result of a direct review of the records currently before City Council. And those omissions present legal and procedural risks that warrant careful review before final action. Additionally, through you, Madam President, as the chair, we would like to note that because this system would be operating using city infrastructure and under city authorization, the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act and Right to Know law would also apply. These laws require that the public business be conducted transparently and that public records related to government operations remain accessible to citizens. Ensuring that these initiatives align with the Sunshine Act and Right to Know will demonstrate that the city's commitment to transparency, its commitment to safety, is fulfilled. Therefore, through you, Madam President, as the chair, and with the full respect for council's authority, we would like to respectfully ask that this legislation go forward, but those particular questions be formally asked and answered. This request is not to made to slow progress, but to protect the city, the public, and the integrity of this initiative. York has an amazing opportunity to set a statewide example, if not a national one, showing that public safety and civil liberty can move together. Clarifying these points first ensures this project moves on solid legal, ethical, and constitutional ground. Thank you, Madam President, and members of council for your time and attention.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment regarding this matter this evening? Yes, sir.
I'm a little bit behind on all this. I just got aware of it last.
Could you identify yourself,
Oh,
please?
sorry, Todd Clay. I live right over here. Just got aware of it at the committee meeting, I guess, which was the 29th, I think. So one of the things that, and I'm trying not to duplicate, I did try to go back and read some of the stuff that has come out. I don't understand what the interest of logos is here. I don't get why they're so invested, and I don't see it, I don't read it. I don't see a business plan where everything's should be laid out involving principles and goals and failures and all the stuff that comes before you do something. And I come from the business world, so I'm not like just talking out of turn here. We had plans for everything, plans for plans even. Who's gonna watch this video monitors 24/7, 365 days a year? This isn't spelled out anywhere. And yet somebody has to do it, or you just have cameras recording trees growing and other things there. Somebody has to be there to, hey, we're having a crime on 17th Street, which isn't one of our streets, but it's the point. So all that kind of minutia should be in the business plan, and it should lay out exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to implement it, what our interests are, what our goals are, and that I have yet to see anywhere. All the books and writings warning about authoritarian governments, and we seem like we're just rushing, like this thing is just rushing. And I know you said that this started back in 2021. I have no awareness. I was more interested in the sewer system being sold at that point. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of warnings and we're just not listening to them. We're just steamrolling ahead because we got to get something. We got to have something. We got to do something. Ultimately, the government will seize control of the cameras when it needs to. So while we might suggest that there's a civilian control, in the end, there's not. They will take what they need to take to protect their interests, be they legitimate or cover-ups. The savings that brought up about Lancaster, I did read through that too, and they're not really legitimate amounts. They're amounts they think they may have saved by doing this, but they don't actually say, well, we saved this much in prosecution, we didn't save that much. There's no specificity to anything out of any of this. Cameras don't protect. They record crimes, or they record trees growing, or they record whatever's in front of them. If there's a camera pointing at you, the crime's over here. Criminals know where cameras are. And while I'd like to think that it was easy, that we can just point a camera and somebody will get caught, it's not that simple. We can rarely control our government at any level, be it that we're not involved, we're busy, we have too much things on our plate. But I don't see this being any better. We really need again, the plan would say, we need a civilian board of over 50% of the population manning it so that we always have right of, I can't think of the word. We have the right to say no to anything that we as a city don't agree with. Without that 50%, they can tell us what's right and what's wrong. And I don't know what the involvement of the city, and I've also heard the county's involved in this, and yet I don't think there's any county representatives that I've seen in any meetings anywhere.
Sir, you have 30 seconds.
Okay. So if you still feel like this is the way we should go, that nonprofit or not-for-profit, which I still don't understand the motive here. Again, I say about this 50% of our control, we need that. You're giving out polls now, but there's no plan. And I don't even know if it even says what those 55 polls are or which ones they are. But I just looked at the cameras on the map, and I mean, it's intrusive. It is just in your face. So I'll stop with that.
Thank you, sir. Is there any further comment this evening regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Brinkerhoff. I'm a consultant.
Say the last name again, Ryan.
Brinkerhoff? It's a mouthful.
Okay.
Starts with a B, though.
It starts with a B. Okay, I thought you said Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff?
Brinkerhoff, yes.
Brinkerhoff, gotcha.
I came before council and spoke with you all in 2021, I believe, when Parker Security Associates produced the first feasibility study, which was such an embarrassing and sloppily put together document, filled with errors, lacking data. It was dismaying to me to see that in the proposal tonight, that 68% figure was cited in this proposal, when we know that there was no clear ramification or controls over how that data was gathered. That number comes from a single pie chart, the only data provided in that report, if you exclude the RAND report, which was copied and pasted into the center of it. The pie chart that didn't have any real numbers associated with it and just said 68% approve. It was such an embarrassment that after that meeting, Michael Helfrich came out and apologized to a few of us who were there and said, we won't go forward with this until we get real public input. That did not come about. There has been no further public input. There has not been a real feasibility study. And I can say that because I know I do feasibility studies for a living. My last one that I did was completed in August. We had 136 interviews as part of that, and we surveyed over 3,000 people with an e-survey. And the fact that we would call 20 interviews a feasibility study for a fundraising program is embarrassing. This is not how you put together a program of this scope that is going to have this much invasion into the lives of the people of York. We were promised at the forums that were hosted by, as I believe it was Parker Security, but led mostly by Commissioner Muldrow, that these cameras would be used for gun violence and for murder. Now, when we look at the feasibility study, the second one that was produced by Logos Works, we see that the finding was the scope of use of the cameras will be essential for the long-term funding of the project. And outside of just things like gun violence and murder, now we're talking about using them for traffic and for school safety. That was not what was presented to the public in 2021. And that was when the data was collected, supposedly saying that this is what the public is supporting. So any reference to that 68% number or the 220 people that provided input, which is a minuscule percentage of the people of York, should be disregarded. We have not had public input on this. As we saw from the last comment, people are still finding out about this. There are more people at this city council meeting than I've seen at any other city council meeting, and I'm assuming a lot of them want to speak about this specifically. We need more time to provide input from the public on this. And I know we're saying, hey, this is just the start of the project, right? Can I ask a question though? What further permission from council would York Safety Net need if you've already got access to the infrastructure? What further way would you have to stop this program that's been so poorly designed and so unclear in its policies if you give approval to this tonight? It was really dismaying to me to see that you all voted down without comment so quickly the amendment that Councilwoman Buss put forward, some of which was already things stated in the feasibility study and clearly should be supported. This is a grave mistake to rush this through without getting proper public input. And it's going to be something that is remembered by the people of York. So I would encourage you to take a step back, take the time to get real input from the people. I've been following this issue since 2021, and it has been a hassle to get any information. We learned about the public forums often the day of. I had to rearrange my flight schedule to come back early to speak today and wasn't able to make the meeting last week because of the lack of notice around this and the publicity around this. So there are lots of people who want to have input, who I know personally can't be here tonight because they're working people, but they deserve to have their voices heard. more than just the donors need to be included in this, and they need to have their voices heard. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, sir. Is there any further comment regarding this matter? Is there any further public comment regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Gito G's. Brian Gooden, community call me Gito. I was riding, I was listening to the live. I just figured I'd stop in. And you know, this guy hit it right on the nose. Whoever was speaking before him too seemed to hit it right on the nose. I mean, for real, you know, it's crazy because this morning I was watching a documentary about Flint, Michigan. And this whole thing and the way the city council did in Flint, Michigan, don't seem too far from what this guy just said up here. You know, there's a lot of challenges we facing. I was at the start of this in 2021 too. I didn't like the way it stunk in 2021, and then I don't really like the way it stank now. And when I say that, I mean like, you know, in 2021, I seen something real nasty. We was talking about cameras. Of course, I was fighting the cameras or fighting against the cameras coming. And then, you know, because I'm in the neighborhoods, and then we see no police presence on the streets for period. You could be on what we call the hottest blocks in York, and you can be out there for hours and you wouldn't see one police. The whole time, right after they didn't get the cameras. So it made me almost feel like, did we take the police off the streets to make this happen? Right? And then I don't actually know the people behind it. All right, but I know that Better York is behind it. And I know York College has something to do with it. And I know Logo's work has something to do with it, right? But these people never came out to talk to us. Not only that, look at the people that's behind it. We talking about Better York, right? So who runs Better York? Who's behind Better York? I don't know the guy personally. His name is Eric Menzer. All I know is he was the community economic advisor for the most racist mayor here. I know he messed up on a loan. So instead of having youth recreational funding for the city, our city tax dollars pay $600,000 a year to an ice skating rink since 2013. And then to build a stadium that none of us black or brown benefit off of, none of the design or the development. So all the damage control after that, bringing other black folks on to the thing, that's a whole different ball game. So like I said, I've been talking like this since 2021. All right, I really don't see how I got any better. I just see this being pushed along, like I said last time. It's favoritism here in this council, all right? And this council push anything through that certain people come in here without so much of a piece of paper in their hand, and we see it all the time. And I just want to say one more thing, all right? Some of y'all thinking y'all after justice. Well, the crazy thing is, the opposite of poverty is justice. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
Hi there, my name's Ian Manley. I spoke last week. I think everyone who's spoken before me has raised some really amazing points. I endorse everything that has been said so far. I want to bring attention to something Councilwoman Janescu, I'm sorry, thank you, I apologize. Something you said earlier about how, like, you wanted to stress that this is only one step, there's more to come, like, we'll have other chances to revisit this. And I think it's really important to note that the further we get into this process, emotionally, the harder it's going to be to stop. There will be people who have put a lot of work into this, people who have put money into this. There's more and more, and things build up a momentum. And at some point, it becomes hard to cut bait. I don't want to see the city get attached to something, decide that it's not maybe something that they don't even want, and just find themselves unable to leave it just because we've gotten too far along in the process. That's really all that I had to add. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Is there any further public comment regarding this matter this evening? Yes, sir.
Manuel Gomez, as always, a sacrifice, but still a privilege to be here. I'm a little bit familiar with the program. It is dismaying that Councilwoman Bupp's amendments we're not given more consideration. I think that we should flesh things out further as a body in the open. It's okay if you don't know all things, but through discussion, you can actually discern more and discover more. I'll address a little bit about Councilwoman Janescu's comments. It's a stark contrast from the Councilwoman Janescu we typically see on most items. Very incisive, a stickler for procedure and policy. It only causes me to question why such a laissez-faire approach on this topic. It's interesting, but I do believe it to be instructive. When it comes to the possibility of this outfit being deemed a state actor, it's real. It's real. Remember, one of the first things I brought up when nobody thought to even have a word from behind that table about the matter was that this has been steered almost entirely by the police department. From the camera placement, the very first sentence or the second sentence in the resolution itself in its original form and language immediately addressed the state itself by way of the police department being the principal arbiter for the entire program itself. Is it going to mean that it's going to be challenged and somebody would say it's a state actor? Who knows? But it's a very real question. In terms of limiting scope, it's probably the main thing I hear as I talk to people, mostly when people talk to me, is I didn't know it was this large. I didn't know it was this expansive. Yes, myself, I'll say, I don't know how they don't know. But the fact is that it's not incumbent upon them to find out. It's incumbent upon this body and Logos Works themselves as a consultancy to inform the public, because it's the public that's being impacted. With regards to what you'll use the camera systems for, once they're actually installed, that's really something I wanted to see and I pushed for strongly. Some sort of limited operational focus in terms of data dispensation. In other words, what are you really going to capture and why? If some kid does graffiti on a wall, is that something that's going to trigger police activity? If you see dirt bikes, or is it more for perhaps Part 1 crimes, which again maintains fidelity with the initial feasibility report, flawed as it may have been? There have been many changes. And remember, the appetite at the time was different because we were experiencing a peak in crime, which was also trending with national peaks in crime at that time. It's pretty clear that at this point, the motion is going to go forward. I don't really want to waste too much time going through most of the policy measures that are already there. And it has to be said that Logos Works as a consulting body certainly did the best they can do to be responsive in terms of updating the policy language. But to codify it would be much better than to leave it to Logos Works and then York SafeNet themselves to actually implement those policy measures. It's probably most prudent. As a secondary point to that, an advisory board, I wouldn't even want to be on it, because advisory capacity is very different from oversight. And I'm going to say this, and I said this directly to Logos Works, but again, just as a technologist, what are you really going to actually audit? Say, when they capture the data and the program is already running, if there are no standards for data storage and retention and how you programmatically dispose of this data that's collected.
You have 30 seconds.
Because imagine, I'll put it in your world, if they're going to audit Kim's department and what's under her purview, there's generally accepted standards, and there's things that you're going to look for that make it easy to actually audit the data that you're reviewing. That's something that has to be in place here, and please look at memorandums of understanding. You should have offered that in the amendment so that we actually know how we engage with these different state agencies as they approach for data. They're going to request it from the system. There has to be structure going in, so there should be some structure then going out.
Thank you, sir. Is there any further public comment regarding this matter this evening? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead. I didn't see your hand, sir.
My name is Travis Gryman, and I'll
Say the last name again, Travis.
Travis Gryman.
Gryman.
Yep, and I'll keep this brief. I have no insider knowledge of these types of things. I don't work in fundraising. I don't work in anything that connects to local government. But I was born in York Hospital. I have lived in York County the entirety of my life, both in the city and in several of the townships and boroughs surrounding it. And I find it very disturbing that I found out about these things not through the news, not through newspapers, not through public outreach, but I found out about this from Facebook posts that friends of friends of friends retweeted or whatever. I do find that very concerning that there have only been 20 or so public interviews placed about these types of things. I find this very concerning that if you walk through the street of York City or you go sit at one of the restaurants downtown York that I've worked at, that people don't know about this issue. It kind of strikes me that more people in York City would be able to give you details of the Tiger King than would give you details about something that's going to very much affect their liberty and security moving forward. It feels to me so far that this is an attempt to outsource security outside of the community, whereas security and liberty and those things are protected by us living as one community and one society in a local environment. And that's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any further public comment regarding this matter? Going once? Going twice? Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Bub.
Although I know it's just a yes or no, but I'm gonna say no because I would prefer we start smaller.
John Askew.
Yes.
Dennis.
I would have to say, I'm sorry. I would have to say no as well, because I do agree with this amendment.
Buckingham.
Yes.
Washington.
No, and that does not move forward. Up next, we have resolution number 79.
Is there a motion to read by short title? Sorry, you meant to introduce it. Terry, right?
Yeah. Jumped ahead of me. So introduced.
Is there a motion to read by short title?
So moved. Second.
All in favor of reading by short title, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Resolution number 79, introduced by Teresa Jonescu, a resolution authorizing the forgiveness of penalties and interest assessed upon the city real estate tax imposed against 629 South Pershing Avenue for tax year 2023.
Move for a vote.
Second. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any council comment regarding this matter?
None.
Who seconded it? Was that you?
Is it Queen or me?
Okay.
Any public comment regarding this matter? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bub,
Yes.
Jonescu,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Buckingham.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have resolution number 80. So introduced.
Is there a motion to introduce by short title?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Resolution number 80, introduced by Aquina Washington, a resolution authorizing an agreement with the York County SPCA to provide animal care and housing services for 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any council comment regarding this matter?
None.
Briefly, we need the York SPCA. I thank them for all the things they do for the whole county and the city, especially with their TNR, which is Trap, Neuter, Release program, where you can take caught cats to them for a spay or a neuter for $25 and a rabies shot. You can rent traps from them so that you can take that cat. You can call, there are nonprofit groups and just regular individuals all over town who do trapping, neuter, spay, release. And we have a problem. We have so many of cats. Reach out to SPCA for help and spay and neuter your pets. Thank you. Soapbox.
Thank you, Councilwoman Buck. Is there any further council comment regarding this?
None.
Any public comment regarding this matter? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bub,
Yes.
Jonescu,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have resolution number 81. So introduced.
Again, is there a motion to introduce by short title?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. And that is introduced as resolution number 81, introduced by Aquina Washington. A resolution authorizing an agreement with All City Management Services to provide services for school crossing guard services for the 2025-2026 school year.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any council comment regarding this matter?
Yes, I'll just reiterate what I said at committee. I know this, one of the reviewers flagged me after a meeting and, said, oh, well, they just happened to look best on paper. But, over the years, we've been hearing ongoing concerns about attendance. I have asked for more supervision of this vendor because it's child safety in particular, and there's no evidence that those reports have been made. We provide no metrics that the raise and pay improved attendance. And as far as a high score on training, we still have crossing guards stopping sometimes fast-moving traffic to allow children to cross, which is a pretty significant safety risk. And so I haven't been satisfied. I mean, I don't think the actual practice and performance is measuring up to what they put on paper.
Thank you, Councilwoman Janescu. And I would just say I concur with Councilwoman Janescu's comments. Any further council comment?
I do as well, but are there some folks here from All City to address some of our concerns?
Is there anyone here from All City? Yes. Yes. Please take the floor and provide us with your name.
Madam President, council members, my name is Patricia Pohl, and I'm the Vice President of Operations for All City Management Services, the Crossing Guard Company. I appreciate a little time tonight to tell you a little bit about who we are. All City Management was incorporated in 1985 as a minority-owned family doing only crossing guard services. We're proud to celebrate 40 years of excellence in the business. Our headquarters are in California, but individuals that work there are in support of the field staff across the country and in communities like York. So we do not try to run programs out of California. Our model is to have local supervisors. City of York has 2 local area supervisors, both of whom live in York. Additionally, we have, I have with me tonight Josh Sweeney, and he was a previous crossing guard in York that has benefited from our focus on promotion within the company, and he now serves as team leader. He also lives in York. And Shelby Schaefer, who is just up the road in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. She originally started as an area supervisor and now serves the company as an assistant team manager. I had the pleasure 10 years ago now of transitioning this program from public to private employment. I worked with Mr. Thomas Ray and then Chief of School Police, Muldrow, in transitioning the program. We were assigned 52 locations at that time and presented with 6 crossing guards who were willing to work as crossing guards in the city of York. Yes, I spent a few hours at Crispus at a community center recruiting and hiring, training, qualifying school crossing guards. But it was our mission, as it always is, to protect the children of the communities we serve, and I believe we took the city of York strides ahead in that effort as we staffed those 52 locations. I also work closely with city staff to recommend and have them engage in a third-party review of the program at that time. They did work with Transportation Research Board as a result of that, and we subsequently went from 52 sites that were contracted to be paid to the current 36 locations. I've had several people say to me, why would you do that? Why would you take money away from you if they're willing to pay you for 52 sites? Why are you doing 36? Well, I hope it speaks to who we are as a company. We are committed to safety. We are committed to the communities we work in. And yes, we are not a nonprofit, but our higher goal is that of safety for students. We have served the city of York, like I say, for some 10 years, and we look forward to doing that in the years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any further council comment or question regarding this matter?
I think my question is how I do share some of Councilwoman John Askew's concerns as well. Had an incident recently this morning where the crossing guard he parks his car and leaves it at this intersection right at the stop signs, which impairs vision when you're driving. You can't, he's up on their yellow, and you know, how often, or, you know, just talk to a little bit about the training and how we can correct some of these issues about that, of stopping busy traffic instead of teaching our children to cross when it's appropriate for them to cross, when they have the crossing light or whatever.
May I ask you, Councilwoman Buckingham, would you know who to call when you yourself observed that sort of a problem with the particular crossing guard?
Well, I would call, once I did make a call, and I called city administration and they gave me a local number, or they handled it. I can't remember now. It's been a couple of years ago.
Thank you. Okay, it wasn't just right away. Okay. And I do think it's come to light that maybe we need a little more transparency and education throughout the community of who we are and how to get in touch with this, because it's what our supervisors do every day. Apparently the word hasn't been disseminated well enough so that people know who to call, but we are 24/7 operation. I would rather have you speak to local supervision here than the California office, but that is a 24/7 operation, and they will route those concerns. As for training, it's probably the singular most rounded effort that has brought us success over the years. It is true that if we have 36 crossing guards in York, we have 36 in New York. So it is a little daunting to be able to see everything that every crossing guard does throughout their shift. Do we make mistakes? Unfortunately, we do. I would say to you, those mistakes aren't typically as a result of poor training. They're a result of bad decisions at the time. In my experience, again, over 30 years, I find that crossing guards they're proactive for the pedestrians. And sometimes they get a little overly anxious in terms of prioritizing pedestrians and maybe making poor decisions in terms of what we train them to wait until there's gaps in traffic, or if they're working at a signal light, to use that signal light as a asset for crossing children safely. We do benefit from partnering with communities and understanding that everybody can call us, everybody can put those issues forward so that we can address them quickly. And we do have a very good track record of fixing those issues when we find out about them. Perhaps the takes a village is a good phrase, because again, we can't be every place all the time. And these aren't typically ongoing issues. There's somebody made a decision at the moment and it wasn't a good decision. But our training has been, I've worked with the Florida Department of Transportation. I served on the expert committee in the state of California and Safe Routes to School. Our training has been designated as industry leader. And we've come a long ways in the crossing guard business in 30 years. There was not the focus, the dangers, the exposures to distractions, a whole different world 30 years ago in the crossing guard business. And I'm proud to say that we've grown with that. We've learned things over the years, and we apply those training structure and development throughout our workforce.
Thank you.
I have one quick question. Is there a phone number you would like people to call?
Absolutely.
If they have issues with a crossing guard?
Typically, and because we benefit from Shelby, who's an upper level manager, being just a little ways up the road, I probably would share her number with you right now. And that is because we are trying to identify if some of these problems are ongoing, what more interference we need, interjection in terms of the process. It is true that one of the challenges in the state of Pennsylvania, I have my heart in Pennsylvania. I have deep roots in Allentown, and my children were born in Bethlehem, so I'm a little prejudiced to some of the programs in Pennsylvania. But because of the child abuse background check, we are working with a third party that sometimes delays that clearance, so it inhibits the process for bringing new guards on. When we identified that, we experience always, when winter comes, people leave. People are not standing in line to do this job at any time, particularly the more dangerous it gets, and the statistics are hard of the dangers faced by crossing guards. I think they've decided it's the 5th most dangerous job in the country. We see this lull over the winter. People can't do the winter, and we're typically prepared for that with a third-party involvement, the difficulty in hiring. So what we did as a company is we intervened, and we were giving people signing bonuses when we got hit with this particular deficit in staffing. And we invested in signing bonuses for these folks so that they would be more encouraged to wait out the period of some 2 to 3 weeks before our child abuse clearances came back. And that was, I think I checked March and April, and I think staffing is back up to like 99% on most days. So again, we want it to be 100%, but there are a lot of variables. We definitely have, and we'll leave with you. Do you want her to recite her number now? Just when you're ready.
You can do that, and or email as well.
Yes, certainly we'll follow up with email. Sure. Shelby?
So my name is Shelby Schaefer. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for hearing us tonight. I can be reached at area code 717-650-7232. I will give you my email as well. Kind of long, so sorry, bear with me. It is Shelby, SHELBY, at thecrossingguardcompany.com. And that's 2 G's. Thecrossingguardcompany.com.
Thank you. Shelby.
You're welcome.
We benefit from autofill.
That was a good call.
Yeah. Glad they were
We had to have it.
Is there any further council comment regarding this matter? Is there any public comment regarding this matter? Please come to the microphone and state your name, please.
Good evening, my name is Miss Williams. I just have one question.
First name, we need your first.
Natalie
Natalie
Williams.
Thank you.
I just have one question, that's it. I overheard her saying about the child abuse, but do they take drug tests too?
We do not here now.
No, y'all don't take drug tests?
What we do is we work under the contract issued to us.
You have to come to the microphone, please. No, I apologize.
Each contract that we have with municipality is designated by the municipality. So if that's something that the city of York wants to incorporate, it certainly is something we do in many locations across the country, do that drug testing. Yes, so if that's something we could incorporate. It probably would change the parameters of the program a little bit, but we do that in other locations. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further public comment regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
My name is Richard Dingling. I am currently employed by ACMS. I work at Devers Elementary School. I am a recovering addict of meth addiction. I've been clean for 8.5 years. My background check went through and I have no problem taking and being subjected to a drug test because it will come back negative. My supervisor has done everything that she can to ensure that we are trained properly and that she takes and comes around on a regular basis to see us. I don't know the people here because I've never been introduced to them. The only person I know through ACMS is Tracy Hill. That's my immediate supervisor. I enjoy my job. I enjoy working with the kids. And yes, so there are times the public have no idea what it takes to take and be able to stand out there in the middle of traffic, making sure that the kids, when a kid darts out that you're not expecting, and I've had one or two almost get hit because of it. Those kids don't know, but we're there, and I was almost hit by the car. But I make sure that I am between those children and those vehicles so that they are not harmed. That's where I put myself because I want to make sure that they're safe. That's all I have to say. But drug testing is it should be included.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your work and congratulations on your sobriety.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Is there any other public comment regarding this matter? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I am Ramona Keinert, and I live here in the city of in York. And I'm just so glad that I'm here to hear this because I didn't know there was a company, because I really didn't know who to call with the crossing guards and what's going on. And still our youth are not listening to our crossing guards. Mm-hmm. I watched this, especially in certain areas, and now I know who to call maybe to come up with something with the community because our children are still crossing however they want to cross the streets. And they're really, putting a lot of people in danger. I'm watching this throughout the city, especially at school time. So I just want to say to the public that it's going to be important for us to teach our young people. I just had to get some young people out of the street just before I came here, and it was a group of children just in the street, fooling around, playing around, play fighting and everything till I addressed them like, sweeties, please, you're holding up traffic, please move. We put our lives on the line when we do that too, because we don't know what kids we're dealing with sometimes. But I'm so glad to hear that I have someone that I can communicate with. Absolutely, and also to help if necessary. As we can see, it is necessary because our children are still crossing the streets any kind of way. I did. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm curious about Todd Clay. I'm curious about the placement of the
Can you state your
guards.
name again, please, sir?
Todd Clay.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the placement of the guards because I live literally behind Logos, across the street from the other Logos, and York High up here. And there's no crossing guards in my street. And those kids are walking those streets every day. And I mean, there's a lot of corners and traffic and stop signs and red lights. And so I'm just, what makes them pick a location? Because it seems like somebody should be down there where most of the kids are.
Thank you, sir.
Want to respond?
Sure, yes, ma'am.
I think that's a particularly good question. It is important to understand that we work at the direction of the city. When that Transportation Research Board study was done, they created a Safe Routes to School program, which had been an initiative in the city for some time. But the issue is, well, when I came, there was just kids crossing everywhere, and they tried to put crossing guards all the places kids were crossing. You really can't do that. You really need to establish a Safe Routes to School. It's not a valet service. You've got to walk to this corner to receive the services of a crossing guard. And that's what the city looked at very carefully. Route for children that would allow them the services of a crossing guard. I so appreciate this gentleman speaking that works for us, and I want you to know, for every one of him, there's another 50 people that don't make it, because he's exactly right. The difference between a close call and a tragedy is a well-trained, dedicated crossing guard. And you folks have not had a tragedy in your community, and I hope we never endure one here. But it's these people that are making a difference every day and being committed to that process that does truly bring us the results. It looks easy because these people make it look easy, because they're not, they're not out there creating havoc. They're out there bringing safety and to the community. So, but yes, the sites themselves are designated by, but I would encourage you, if you know of a place where the city isn't aware, that perhaps they should do a study and see. There's manual and uniform traffic control devices, gives them parameters and warrants for establishing locations. So there is a way, I think, to petition because the demographics change. Kids walking here and there every year changes a little bit. So you might want to consider that. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Is there any other public comment regarding this matter? No. Oh.
Kind of slow here.
Take your time.
My name is Donnell Pride. I am one of those crossing guards. My issue is we have a lot of people that are complaining about the crossing guards, but those people that are complaining most of the time are part of the problem. I work on the corner of Maryland and West Street. There's a stop sign only in one direction. So that other direction, those people do not care whether I'm standing there or not. A kid is crossing the street. They're coming because they feel I don't have a stop sign. I don't have to cross. I've had a few words with people like, you can't do this, because if this was your kid out there, you would feel the same way, and I'm already beat up enough. I don't want to get hit by a car. But I mean, the father in me, the grandfather in me, I will push a kid out of the way, but it's rough out there, and basically us as crossing guards are just like hall monitors. I've been a hall monitor. You get no respect. That the kids don't give it, the parents don't give it. You have to take it, or you have to earn it. And they have to know that you're not here to play games with them. And the community needs to know we're not just out here just trying to get a paycheck. I'm disabled. I can sit home. I make enough money doing that, but I'm out here with these kids because that's what I do. I love being around the kids. I love making sure these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and the company that I work for, everybody is basically on the same page, Are there a few people, a few bad apples in the barrel? I mean, that's everywhere, Eventually, they will step out into the light and they will be seen and they will be terminated. So I don't know what the complaints are to you guys. Just be patient with us. Give us time. We're going to get it right. But these kids are definitely our priority, and we're going to make sure that they're safe.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your work. Is there any other public comment regarding this matter? Yes, ma'am.
Tracy Hill, Hatchpath. I was told not to come tonight, but I am a supervisor for one of the areas of my people. I took the job because I'm a people person. I'm retired from Maryland. I get no respect from the upper people, but I do my job thoroughly. As you see, I train my people the correct way. You do have some that don't listen. I am a hands-on person. I don't have to be out there when I got a guard on every corner. But my day starts at 6:30 a.m. I'm up. Somebody gets sick. Somebody got to go to the bathroom. A corner where you need 2 guards at. I'm out there with that stop sign with that guard out there. I'm making sure it happens because you got kids coming from over the hill, all the way over there. Then you got the guard monitoring this right here. I do a damn good job. I pat myself on the back. I don't get that from management. I've never been sick since I took this job. I don't take it lightly. I think, I can't see your name, I wear readers. I think you spoke to me, it was a couple of years ago, or a year ago when you said about the car. It was me, maybe. I remember you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was taken care of because you didn't see that truck there no more, did you? Nope. Because I take care of it. If you call me, I'm out there. I'm not at home on the computer. I'm out there in the trenches. If you're management and you're not there on the trenches, what's happening, you don't know what's happening. A lot goes on. You get the middle finger, you get cursed out, you get a lot of stuff, but I just wave, keep it going. You know what I mean? I make it fun for me. I like it. I lost my husband. I do this not for the money, because I give back to the community the check that I get. I don't want no accolades and all of that for that. But what I am saying is management need to work with me, not take 2 sides. It's one way. And if you got a problem, and we right here, the same problem here, the same problem here. What's good for me is good for this one. I don't see no color. I'm not racist. I've been called that. I treat everybody the same. You see Mr. Henry and them? They don't know them because nobody rode around. They out there. But they know me. I don't know, if you go to each corner, any day you want to go, and ask them about Miss Tracy. They'll tell you. I can't see myself like you can see me. I might think I'm doing a good job out there. You might blow the horn and say, look, ma'am, you're doing this wrong. I take that. I'm not too good to apologize and correct my wrongs. I'm not perfect. But I think it needs to be looked at. What's good for me is good for them. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, and thank you for your work. Is there any other public comment regarding this matter? Did you already go up, sir?
Yes.
We only take one time to come up. Thank you. Is there any other public comment, anyone that has not gone up yet? Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Bub,
Yes, and thank you.
John Askew,
I respect the work, the crossing guards and the challenges. I was a teacher for more than 20 years, but I still have concerns about oversight, communication with the city and the school district, and I wasn't satisfied with that, so I say no.
Dennis,
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington,
No. And that moves forward. We do not have any requests for future meetings at this time. Is there any council comment this evening?
I do have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
That we keep the family in mind that had that major fire today on Green Street. Some people might not know. But there was a major fire that took place on Green Street on today. I didn't get updates on if everybody was rescued out. I did hear that they did rescue at least 3 of the children out. So us as a community, if we can just keep those families that have been impacted today with that, and then all of our bereaved families that we've had happen over the weekend, if we can just keep all of those individuals in mind. And once again, as Councilwoman President said, congratulations to Mayor-elect Sandy Walker.
Thank you, Councilwoman Dennis. Any further council comment? And any administration comment?
I do. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that the fire department is having an open house at the Rex Laurel Firehouse over at 51 South Duke Street this first Friday, November 7th, between 6 to 8. They recently went through a big renovation. That's a huge accomplishment, and it is a really cool building. So if anybody's out and about for First Friday, please stop in, get the tour, see the poles, see the great woodwork and glasswork in there, and say hi to our fire department.
Thank you. At this time, it is 7:20 p.m. and our meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful evening and even greater rest of the week. Thank you.